What's up, people? Today, I just wanted to make a very detailed video on why you should be playing, or why you should at least try Wuthering Waves in the 1.1 update. Wuthering Waves currently is actually in a weird spot. I wouldn't say it's a good spot, but I also wouldn't say it's a bad spot either. It is, Kuro Games is trying to fix a lot of their issues, and there is a lot of issues, do not get me wrong. I may suck the dick of Wuthering Waves. I may be a Wuthering Wave shill. I don't care. You could call me what you want. But they're currently trying to fix a lot of the problems that the community is bringing up, which I think is a very good thing. I've seen a take going around where all this like dev support isn't like a good thing. It's not spelling a good thing. And I honestly don't really agree with that, because name me a game. And this goes out to any commenters. I highly encourage you guys to comment on this video. Tell me what you think, please, of everything I say in this video, not just this. But tell me a game that has had great community support and has also been worked on because of the community support. So for example, when in Wuthering Waves, since I'm already talking about it, in Wuthering Waves, a lot of people were complaining about like lag and a lot of like FPS issues and ping issues and shit like that. Almost instantly, within 5 or so days of the problem that people were bringing up, Kuro Games went in and they did multiple hotfixes. And I truly do mean multiple hotfixes. You could go see it for yourself. I'm not pulling this out of my ass. But they did multiple hotfixes in order to fix a lot of the issues with the game. And they're still doing hotfixes. So I don't think there is a lot of games out there. There probably is. You know, there obviously has to be some games out there. But I don't think there's a lot of games out there that has the developer support as Wuthering Waves. Like, I just don't think there is a game out there that has the amount of support from the developers that Wuthering Waves has. And I think that's a really, really good thing. It also doesn't set this false pretense. Like, I think because they're working so tirelessly to make sure they have a good game, it's not just them like pandering. I don't think that it's them just like doing all of this up front and then later on in the game they're just going to forget about it. I think this is truly them trying to make a good game, and I think that's a very good thing. Very much disagree with people saying that all of the developer support is like kind of false, like a false hope. I disagree with that entirely. I just had some points here on my second monitor. I wanted to bring up some points on why you should play Wuthering Waves in the 1.1 update, and I think you should start Wuthering Waves now. Not like seriously play it now, like maybe play through the story now, but wait until 1.1, because that's where Wuthering Waves actually really steps it up. And they released this developer post like a couple weeks ago. I wanted to summarize everything so you don't have to read through the whole thing, because it is kind of long. So first things first, echoes. Echoes are probably the most important part of Wuthering Waves. They're like the main factor that brings people in, the main reason why you play the game more than 5 minutes a day. So they are heavily improving echoes by increasing the tacit field. And if you don't know, the tacit field is basically just like their version of a domain in Genshin, or like a cavern in Star Rail if you play those games. Tacit fields are a very weird problem right now because they're not really that rewarding. Like, you don't get a lot out of doing a tacit field, and that's not a good thing, because that's the main way of getting echoes. Like, yeah, you can farm echoes like yourself, but you're never gonna get like a actually good set with just farming echoes in the overworld. To summarize everything they're changing with echoes, they are adjusting the system to make it so you spend less credits to develop your echoes, which I don't think that's a huge problem. I've never had a problem upgrading my echoes with the credits, but I still think that's a nice thing. Make it cheaper. That's good. They are increasing the amount of echoes you get as of right now. You also get more materials, so like Echo XP. That's another really good feature, because man, you get basically 0 Echo XP. It's so hard to come across Echo XP unless you're straight up just spamming like the store basically. So that's a really good thing. And I actually want to also bring up, they're making like a Waveplate storage system, which if you played Honkai Star Rail, you would know that the storage system is probably the best feature when it comes to grinding in the game. If you wanted to, you could ignore Honkai Star Rail for an entire month without without getting on the game at all. You don't have to do your dailies. You don't have to spend your in that game it's called Trailblaze power. You don't have to spend your Trailblaze power. You can just wait for a whole month and you'll have all of the Trailblaze power you would have earned throughout that month just sitting there waiting for you. That is a great feature. A feature Genshin is missing, by the way, just pointing that out. But that is a great feature because it allows you to not like it's like a form of FOMO where the game is basically becoming like a job. Right now in Wuthering Waves, there is no storage system. So whenever you log off of the game, you'll start gaining these wave plates. And if you're logged off for too long, it'll go up to 240 and it'll just stop there. And you're wasting all of those wave plates that you could have been earning. So nobody wants a job for a game, right? Because you have to log on every day, make sure you use all your wave plates, and then you can log off. Nobody wants that. Literally nobody. You want to just be able to play the game when you want, how you want. So having a storage system for your wave plates is really, really fucking good. And that is probably the update I'm looking forward to the most. Of course, the yield of the echoes and the echo development materials, that's also really good. I want there to be more echoes because there's literally just no reason to do the task field if you get an inconsistent amount of echoes. You get basically no echo development materials. Just increase the amount of rewards. That's the main thing. Make the waveplate system is also making the waveplate system is also really fucking good. So that's the whole thing with the echoes. And I think that's a really, really good fucking change. They really must have been paying attention to what people have been saying because, number one, honestly, I do think the game should have started with a waveplate storage system, but they're adding in 1.1, so it's all right. I would have rathered it being in the game at the start, but whatever. What can you do? Yeah, so that's it with echoes. If we move on here, we go to new characters. I won't lie. I will not lie. I did look at some of the leaks for the new characters. I looked at the Chang Li leaks and I looked at the Jinshi leaks. I think that's her name. These characters are genuinely insane. I'm not telling you to look at the leaks. I won't be showing it on screen or anything. Do not look at the leaks if you don't want to spoil these characters for yourselves. But when I say that they have some of the most beautiful and well-developed animations, it's 1.1 and animations are already being power crept. If you thought Yin Lin looked cool, if you thought Jian looked cool, Calcharo, those pale in comparison to Jinshi specifically. I think Chang Li is also really good, and I will be pulling for Chang Li because I personally like her design. But Jinshi specifically it's just stunning, absolutely stunning. Like I said, do not look at spoilers, do not look at leaks because I feel like it's better to just see it for yourself in game. But I'm excited for this game, so I looked at leaks. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be absolutely amazing. They're also releasing a new boss, which I haven't seen anything about the boss. That is good. That is a very, very good thing. I want there to always be more bosses. I want there to always be holograms. I want there to always be something new to fight because I'll be honest, I've been playing Wuthering Waves for I've played it literally every day since it came out. So something over maybe 100, probably up to 200 hours. So I always want something to fight, something new to fight specifically because the stuff I've been fighting, yeah, it's fun to fight and the higher level you get, the more difficult it gets, but I want new attacks. I want something new. So I'm glad that they're actually adding in more bosses per patch, and I hope they stick with this. Hell, even make it so there's 2 new bosses per patch. Even if it's a boss that doesn't give you anything, just make a new boss for me to fight, honestly. Speaking of fighting, combat improvements. Man, I don't honestly know how you can make Wuthering Waves combat better. I don't get it. But to symbolize what they said in this blog post, they're basically fixing up this the combat camera direction or correction. They are changing the radius that bosses have because some bosses are in the overworld, and if you go too far away from them, they'll just despawn, which is kind of annoying. I haven't had that happen to me personally, but it can happen. They're changing a bunch of stuff for they're changing the feel of the game to make it feel more fresh, more flowy, I'm assuming. I personally think the game is fine for combat specifically. I think the game is perfect if you're looking for a combat game. It's really fucking good, really flowy, but if they can make it better somehow, I think that's great. I think that's really fucking good. Moving on to my next point here. Probably, actually, I'll leave this point for last. The new location. I looked at some screenshots. Like I said, I did look at spoilers. I looked at some screenshots for the new location. It's called Mount Firmament. I'm pretty sure. Mount Firmament. Yeah, Mount Firmament. It is very beautiful. It is a very, very beautiful location. I am kind of worried that it'll be a little small. I would rather a much bigger location. But honestly, for a 1.1, that's perfectly fine if it's a little smaller than what I'm expecting. But it was a very, very pretty spot. It was a very, very pretty spot. And yeah, now probably my favorite part of Wuthering Waves itself. In Wuthering Waves, there is a game mode called Depths of Elusive Realm, which, if you've played Huntcast RL, this is basically like the simulated universe. If you haven't played Huntcast RL, this is basically like their version of a roguelike. So think of Binding of Isaac, Hades, something like that. Depths of Elusive Realm is by far, in my opinion at least, the funnest game mode in Wuthering Waves. They really crank up the amount of like craziness that can happen in this game mode. I should have some gameplay on screen right now. It goes insane and it goes super hard, especially with the characters you can use. They give you some of the levels, the difficulties. They just should give you trial characters to use, so you don't have to build every single character if you want to use them. I think that's a great feature. And they said that they're going to be improving upon the Depths of Elusive Realm because they had so much positive feedback. Which brings me to a bigger point that I wanted to bring up. They are actively improving a already good game mode because people said that it's a good game mode. That is insane when you think about it. Because why would they improve something that people already like? There's no need to. There's no reason to. In their eyes, it should be considered a waste of resources because if people already like it, why would they spend more money on it? But Kuro Games sees it entirely different. They see it as, oh, people like this game mode, let's make it better. Let's improve upon it. Let's keep making it better. So I think that is very, very good for the development and the long term of the game, because this goes to show that even if something is already good, they can still make it better. And I really can't wait for the new version of Depths of Elusive Realm, because it's honestly my favorite game mode. I mean, the tower is all right. I think the tower could be better. I don't really like the vitality system. Holograms are fun. I think holograms are all right. You know, it's whatever. It's just fighting a boss. All of the overworld farming is okay. You know, I don't have a problem with any of those things I just mentioned, but the Depths of Elusive Realm is definitely my favorite thing in this entire game, and it's not even close. It's just not. It is so much fun, especially when you have if you build your own character, you have them with everything you want, and the best part is echoes don't matter. So all you need is the character leveled up and the weapon leveled up, and then you just go in. You basically build a character from scratch with a bunch of different, they call them metaphors, but yeah, you just build them up with a bunch of different stats. There's a bunch of different abilities. I hope when they make the update for the Depths of Elusive Realm, they give us more shit to work with, and that is probably the thing I'm most excited for. Of course, the echoes are nice. The characters look nice. I still don't understand how you would improve combat. I don't really get that, but hey, if you can make something that's already good even better, sure. Like I said, the new location looked very pretty, but Depths of Elusive Realm, that's what I'm really focusing on. That's why I think you should play Wuthering Waves, because I think that's where the gameplay really, really shines. If you just want to go fucking crazy with all of the stat buffs and the ability buffs and just walk through bosses and enemies, and the craziest thing actually is, even though you're still super buffed from all of the extra benefits you get from doing this, the bosses are still challenging. I was having trouble earlier. I was playing, it should be on the screen. I was using Yinlin, and I mega buffed Yinlin, and I was still having problems fighting the boss. So it's not like it just makes the game mode easy. It's still pretty difficult, and I think it's a lot more fun that way. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about why I think everybody, and I truly do mean everybody, should at least try Wuthering Waves in 1.1, because right now this is kind of like this is kind of like dipping your feet into the pond, you know? You just want to get a little taste of what Wuthering Waves is like from 1.0 to 1.1. Once 1.1 comes out, that's when I think the game will actually truly shine, where they have enough time to develop things and actually make new improvements to the game instead of just fixing things. Because I think there's a big difference between fixing something and improving something. When you fix something, you're just basically, you're not changing anything. You're just making what was already there and you're making it work. Improving something is actively changing what was already there. So I think all the hot fixes are nice, but I want them to improve upon the game, not just make hot fixes. And I think 1.1 is exactly what I am talking about, where they're actually making improvements upon the game, not just fixing the game. So I think 1.1 should be the time where everybody plays Wuthering Waves. And I mean, honestly, just like I said before, play the story right now so you're fully prepared. They're already giving out a ton of rewards. I think you can get 40 free pulls just entirely. There's the free 5-star selector. There's a bunch of astrite you can get. So I think everybody should at least play the story. You don't have to, if you don't care about the story, you just want to play the game, you don't have to listen to the story. Hey, there's a skip button, baby. If you don't care about the story and you just want to play the game, there's a nice big fat skip button that everybody can press. They also said said that in 1.1, or I don't know if they said in specifically 1.1 or in later updates, they're going to be making it so you can straight up just skip everything, not just like some parts of the story. They said that you can just straight up skip even main parts of the story. You can skip cutscenes, you can skip everything, which is really nice for people who just want to play the game. Because I think that's where the disconnect starts, where people think that, oh, if you can skip a game, if you can skip the story, then the story must be bad. No, I just think people like playing the fucking game and they don't really care about the story. I don't give a shit about the Elden Ring story, even though it's a really great story. I know the Elden Ring story, but I don't give a shit about it. When I play Elden Ring, I don't care about reading the fucking story. I don't care about talking to NPCs. I care about grabbing my big ass sword and going around and slapping bosses with it, man. I just don't care. But I don't care about listening to the story, so just let me skip. And Wuthering Waves is doing that. So I don't think there's a problem, because some people just want to play the game. But yeah, that's enough of me yapping. If you guys have any like questions, comments, leave them in the comment section below. I'd love talking to you guys about this sort of stuff. And yeah, that's really about it. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Like, subscribe. See ya.